Hello and welcome. My name is Brian Caplen. I'm editor of The Banker. I'm with Michael Watt, who's the investment banking and capital markets editor, and we're reviewing the December edition of The Banker. So, Michael, the December edition is famous for being the Bank of the Year Awards edition, and we'll come to that in a minute. But we've also written a lot in this issue about regulation, and you've been looking at derivatives regulation. And you started your story by describing the conditions that happened with a bridge in Switzerland. So explain to us what a bridge in Switzerland has got to do with derivatives regulation.
A bridge in Switzerland and Germany, linking the two. It's in the early 2000s, the Germans and Swiss over a small border town got together and decided to build a bridge. One side built it to one set of measurements, the other side built it to another, and it didn't meet in the middle. And that's essentially what has happened in many areas of the cross-border derivatives regulation world at the moment. One set of regulators has decided to set standards for a number of areas. Another set of regulators has set different standards, and a global market that's supposed to work as one isn't.
Okay, and this is principally a battle between Europe and the US, is that right?
Yeah, the way that the US and Europe have gone about this is slightly different. The US got a lot of their regulation out very early through Dodd-Frank, so they kind of set up their structure way ahead of the Europeans. The Europeans are still building a lot of their regulatory sort of defences, if you like, and they're finding that the two processes, the two systems, just don't align on a number of issues.
Okay, so tell us what the key issues are. What is it that they're in conflict about?
Well, they're in conflict over the basic building blocks of the post-crisis derivatives reform landscape. So central clearing, central counterparties, the US and European regulators are having a bit of a dispute over equivalent standards and whether US CCPs can be used in Europe, can be used by European participants and vice versa. Right. Another topic is trading platforms. Again, the same problem of equivalence and authorizing the activities of offshore trading platforms.
Right, and the point here is that if you don't have equivalence, you have to hold extra capital because you're doing business with something that's not regulated by your host regulator.
Yeah, on the CCP point, that's exactly it. With trading platforms, it's a little difficult. Sometimes if you have no authorization to use an offshore trading platform, and this is especially the case in the US, you just can't use it. Okay. So you have a split liquidity market, which is bad for pricing and bad for the efficiency of the derivatives market.
All right, and now let me ask you the key question. Is it going to be resolved?
There's a lot of willingness to get it done. Everyone seems to agree that a global, unified, liquid market is the end goal. But as they say, the devil's in the details. Sorting out these difficulties is hugely complex. It's very, very technical. And a lot of the regulators just don't seem to be particularly happy about moderating their own approach and agreeing with other people. Okay.
Now, as I said at the start, December is also our awards issue. Very challenging conditions out there for banking almost everywhere now. Slow economic growth, low interest rate environment. I mean, what has been the sort of response in the awards areas? I mean, are we seeing banks overcome some of these challenges?
The response has been really strong, actually. A huge number of banks have submitted their prospectus to be the best bank in their particular country or region. A lot of the challenges have been around regulation, not just in developed markets, in developing markets as well. And a lot of the other challenges have been based around economic growth. In West Africa, for instance, they had the Ebola crisis that knocked people for six there. So, it's as varied as the regions are effectively. There's a huge amount of challenges going on, but the response has been very good.
Thank you, Michael. Well, there we have it. Huge amount on regulation and other issues in The Banker, but principally we have the results of the Bank of the Year Awards in the December issue of The Banker magazine.